Hey guys, this looks like a fun one. Online, I found this calculator that tells you how much house you can afford. You can change your annual income, your monthly debts, your down payment, all these other things. And I want to see if I can do the math to figure out how they got this number. If you want to try it on your own, pause it right now because I'm going to do it in 3, 2, 1. I'm pretty sure this is everything we're going to need to get this number. First, let's focus on the annual income. In this case, it's $70,000. This is before anything gets taken out for taxes. You do your full income. To get the monthly income, you're going to divide that by 12, and that'll give you $5,833.33. And then from here, we're going to look at the debt to income ratio. That's going to be 36%. So then we end up multiplying 36%, which is 0.36 times the monthly income, which is $5,833.33. 0.36 times 5,833.33 is exactly 2,100. That's nice. So now we have our debt to income limit. And then from here, let's look at these monthly debts. These are monthly debts that you already currently have, like car loans or student loans or something like that. So let's copy down the 250 for monthly debts, and then we're going to end up subtracting these two numbers. That gives us the maximum monthly cost, which ends up being 2,100 minus 250, which is 1,850. 1,850 is the maximum you can spend on your mortgage, your interest, and your taxes on your house. Let's put a box around it, and let's make the box red to match these circles. That way you can see where everything shows up. So red box was calculated with the red circles. Next, we can write out the equation for what the max monthly cost would apply to. That the mortgage, which this is the principal plus interest, plus the taxes plus the insurance, needs to equal 1,850. In reality, this is actually less than or equal to 1,850, but since we're trying to find the maximum house we can afford, we're going to set it equal to the max. P&I stands for principal and interest. That's paying back the loan that you get from the bank for the house. This is going to be a little bit trickier to calculate, so I'm going to save that for later. But the taxes will be easy. We have a 1.2% property tax. That's going to be 0.012. And since this is annual, we want to divide it by 12 to get the monthly taxes. And then you're going to multiply that times the price of the house. 0.012 divided by 12 is equal to 0.001. So the taxes end up being 0.001 times the price. And I'm going to run out of room, so let's change price to P. So P is the variable for the price of the house. And then to do the insurance, we're going to use this number. That's annual. 945 is for the whole year. So we're going to end up dividing that by 12. And that is equal to $78.75. I feel like this should also be variable on the price of the house, but it's not. You just put in a flat dollar amount. That's kind of weird. Wouldn't a more expensive house have higher insurance? I'm not sure how I feel about that. And this is all going to be equal to 1,850. I think that's as far as we need to go right now. We could subtract this over, but I kind of like leaving it like this so we can see what's going on. Let's move this up here and put a box around it. And it'll be a blue box so we can see where it came from. These two blue circles. Next, let's figure out the principal and interest. These are the notes to find your monthly mortgage payment. The monthly payment is equal to the principal times the rate times 1 plus r to the power of n. This whole thing divided by 1 plus r to the power of n minus 1. I did derive this in a video. Here it is right here. It's probably one of my least popular videos I ever made. I don't know why. I put so much work into it. The video was 8.5 minutes long, and I ended up going through and deriving all of it, all the steps to get it. So if you want to check it out, it's called Mortgage Monthly Payment Formula Derived. I'll try to put a link right up here. So I'm definitely not going to go through 8 minutes of stuff to prove this again. So we're just going to use that right here. So I'm going to say the principal and interest is equal to the loan times all this. So now to do this, we're going to need R for the interest rate. That's this right here. We're going to need N, which is the loan term. That's the number of months. That'll come from right here. And we're also going to need the down payment. So I'll show you how to do all this. The loan amount is equal to the price of the house minus our down payment. So the loan amount is going to be equal to P minus 60,000. And then the rest of it looks like this. So the 7% interest rate is going to be 0.07 divided by 12 to get the monthly rate. So everywhere we have an R, we're going to put 0.07 divided by 12. And then in the place of the N's, we're going to plug in 360. And then from here, we can plug all this into a calculator. And this is now going to become an approximate value. And it'll be approximately 0.006653,025. Let's rearrange things things like this. And then from here, just to save space on the screen, I'm going to round this to 0.006 this number. But for all the calculations, I'm still going to use all this. Next, we can distribute this to both of these, which will give us this times P minus $399.18. And this is our formula for the principal and interest. Let's put a box around it. And it's going to be a green box because we use these green circles. And then we never used the HOA dues anywhere, but it would have been used in the blue box. It would have been another thing that would have applied to the monthly payments. So technically there's a +0 in here. We can give it a blue circle as well. So all this information came into these calculations. So now we have everything we need to solve for the maximum house we can afford. Let's take this inside the blue box and copy it down. Let's shrink it down and smush it together. And in the place of the P and I, let's plug in all this. Now let's move all the money to the right-hand side. So we can add the 399.18 to both sides, and let's subtract 78.75 from both sides. On the left-hand side, these and these are going to cancel each other out. And on the right-hand side, the 1,850 plus this minus this is equal to 2,170.43. Let's smush everything together, and then we can add these two together to give us 0.0077p. Next, let's bring this over here, and let's bring back the precision that we had earlier. 0.007653025p is equal to 2,170.43. Next, we can divide by this, and that'll give us p is equal to 283,604.20 cents. And thankfully, that does match this number. So this is all the math that this calculator's doing. How exciting.